Attack.
Hello, I'm Paul McCluskey. I'm a former undefeated European champion. Well, the way I fight is I fight with unpredictability, with movement and with my hands down. So basically, if your hands are here, of course he's going to try and hit me in the face, but as he does that, I'll either slip to the back, slip to the side or slip out. But you have to have your timing spot on. Precision is everything here. If you make a mistake, then you will get punished. So as if an opponent comes in, I'll try and judge his movement, watch as he comes, and as he comes, I'll move to the side, move to the back, or out to the side, and counter at the same time. I'm judging his eyes and his feet and his body movement. As he comes to me, I will slip to the side, throw the punch. As he comes again, I'll slip straight down and to the right, come with a hook at the same time. It has to be done spot on, with precision. As I've said before, if you make a mistake, it can be punished, but if it's done right and you do it well, the results can be amazing.
After the break, we'll look into yet another fascinating aspect of the game, the physical and mental training that is vital for a boxer's success. Talent and good technique is of little use unless backed up by the physical fitness to implement it. And running has long been considered an integral part of a boxer's preparation, to help shift the pounds and to build stamina. Although advances in sports science have seen changes in the way that running is utilised, the same applies to groundwork, an intense series of exercises that help develop core strength and anaerobic fitness.
For me, I know it's to change up my training as much as possible. If I do the same thing day in, day out, my body becomes accustomed to that exercise and I stop having to strive to do it because it becomes easy. I know for me, I'm an explosive fighter, a power athlete, so I've got to do a lot of power exercises, explosive, big jumps, big weightlifts. That works for me. I know some other fighters, they won't want to touch that and they'd respond badly to it. Your recovery for me is one of the most important factors. You know, you can do all the training in the world, but if you're not getting that adequate rest, a quality of rest, where your body and your muscle fibers recover and rejuvenate, then you're doing yourself an injustice, because you know you need your body to be firing every day. And if you deplete your energy stores and try and train with low energy stores, so you've got no motivation and energy, the technique that you do and the technique you bring to the table will be subpar. And if you're practicing subpar technique, you'll become a subpar fighter or athlete. So I think perfect practice makes a perfect performance and a perfect athlete.
Jumping rope is another traditional method to getting fighting fit.
I'm Cal Brook, your next big superstar in boxing, and I'm going to show you how to skip today. A lot of boxers skip to just to warm themselves up, go through the motions, you know, limber up, loosen them joints up before you go in. You start stepping up and start sparring or hitting the bags, and then you can double it up, you know, to get the heart racing. Get the heart racing and then you can bring it back down. You know, you get a good, nice little good sweat on. Stretch out. A few fancy little moves for you. And that's how you skip.
Training, discipline and diet are all fundamental factors in making weight safely. And the sport is starting to embrace change and discard some dated theories. Boxers tend to go on long, sweaty runs and cut back on food. Is that the way forward?
Well, no, because water weight is not true body mass weight. So a 2 litre bottle of water will weigh 4 pounds. So a boxer thinks if he doesn't drink water, then he won't weigh the 4 pound. The reality is when you cut back on water, your body starts to hold water, which is the worst thing you can do. So the best way to get rid of water is to drink lots of water. You go in a gym and you can see a guy that's hydrated, but as soon as he starts skipping, he starts sweating. If you see a guy skipping away and he's not sweating, then common sense tells you the guy's dehydrated. The best way in which to lose weight is to eat adequate amounts of protein and cut back on carbohydrates and fats. And what I try and get across to boxers is look at the extraordinary low levels of body fat on a bodybuilder, yet he does no cardiovascular work, and he does it through nutrition. You've got to realise the two composites of the body that you're in control of with nutrition, and that's body fat and skeletal muscle. And if you eat energy, which is carbohydrates and fats, your body, too much energy, your body will store that as body fat. So body fat is stored energy for future use. But lean skeletal muscle is stored protein. And if you cut back on protein, your body will cannibalise muscle like it cannibalises body fat for energy. And once you start cannibalising muscle, your body thinks you're going to die, so it shuts down your metabolism and you can't lose weight. There's long-term implications as well. A lot of people don't realise joints, tendons, ligaments. You know, don't forget, training or fighting is trauma to the body. It's trauma. It's a positive trauma in training, but the body doesn't know that, and the body needs to recuperate and recover from that trauma, and it needs nutrients to do that. How can you do that when you're cutting back so dramatically and not eating? You look at an average fighter, not so much some of the 4 and 6 round fighters, they have to stay in shape, but some of the 12 round fighters who let themselves go between fights, Ed, they'll walk in the gym unfit, and they have to increase their workload, yet decrease their nutrition. And, you know, it's a terrible combination.
Good preparation isn't just about raising fitness levels. It's also about protecting the tools of the trade.
I'm Emmanuel Stewart, Hall of Fame trainer and manager. One of the most important things in preparation for a fight or workout or whatever for a boxer is the proper wrapping of his hands. Normally the injuries will occur in this area here. This is the area where the bones have a tendency to like buckle up under the pressure from here. So it's very, very important to have a proper hand wrap. Not only in terms of just protection, but also maximizing the punching of that power. Right now I'm beginning to wrap by wrapping up the wrist, building up a kind of a support bridge that will come down, and I don't wrap too tight at this area because I want to leave it a little flexible so when I cut the wraps off, the scissors will come up fairly easy, so I don't want to have it too tight. As I wrap this area, I will start to apply more pressure in this area because this is where the problems occur usually. But this is the most crucial part of the hand wrap, this area here. And you must build up a lot of layers of support. Now we'll start to put in what we call this a pad, which is the same thing. It's just the same material here, just wrapped up, and I put a little tape over it so they won't unravel. But other than this, this is what you call the extra protection on the knuckles. The night of the fight, we do the exact same thing, only we use just the gauze. You take one roll of gauze and you just make the same thing that we have here. But you cannot use any other material other than tape and gauze. And at this stage now, we start applying the tape. There's different types of tape. Some is thicker than others. There's one that I favor a lot, which is a waterproof tape, which doesn't unravel, but you still need to leave the thumb where it has flexibility up here to make a tight fist. Next, we'll put these strips here, and the purpose of this is to keep the pad from slipping off as the glove is put on. And by using a full piece of tape instead of a small strip, it gives you a lot more support to keep the wrist from bending down. We'll put tape here, but you can never wrap with tape up in this area. It's against the rules. The taping must always begin at least 1 inch back from the knuckle area, which in this case would be about right here. Once a person has had his hand hurt, I mean, even when the hand is healed, he psychologically a lot of time would never really punch with full force. This is what is considered a good hand wrap. The knuckle area is protected. This stops the galls out of pad from sliding up the gloves when the hand is inserted in the gloves. And the knuckle is protected in this area here, but still this permits him to make a fist this way, whereas wrapping too much tape up to this point would mean he would have to fight this way, which means he could injure his hand plus reduce his punching power.
Shadow boxing is one of the most basic drills used to practice and perfect technique.
I'm Kevin Mitchell, a world-class lightweight. When you're training for a fight, you're visualising the opponent, technique, what he's good at and what he's bad at. Shadow boxing is part of your training you need to do when you're getting prepared for an opponent, as in defences with your hands. When you throw a shot, you have to slip a shot, and you have to be aware when you throw shots, shots are going to be coming back at you. You'd also have a trainer outside the ring watching on you doing your things you're doing right and things that you're doing wrong, and he'll correct you. So make sure you don't make mistakes.
Punch bags serve a similar purpose, but with the added reality of actual impact.
I'm Carl Frampton, Commonwealth Super Bantamweight Champion. Well, there's many different benefits of hitting a punch bag. You know, it's good for 3 minutes in a round to visualise your opponent in front of you, whether you have a southpaw or an orthodox or whatever style you are. Repetition is the key to get a shot perfect, and if you're not perfect with a shot, if you repeat it over and over again, it'll become perfect. Whoever your opponent is, you know, a southpaw, an orthodox, whatever, you can think of different shots to throw. For a southpaw, it'll be straight right hands. For an orthodox fighter who keeps his hands high, you could think about working the body, and different things. But it's very important for the 3 minutes of the round to keep focused 100%.
The speedball isn't necessarily about punching technique, but rather, like skipping, more about finding a timing and a rhythm.
Hi, I'm Jim McDonald, former ABA champion, former undefeated European champion, now professional trainer. This is for your hand and eye coordination, speed, rhythm, timing, and also, believe it or not, for your concentration. You get a good concentration, keep your eye on the ball, you've got kind of nice rhythm, so you cross your hand over, take it down to 1 and 2, speed, changing arms, changing angles, moving side to side, working, and with myself I take it with a lot of head movement, take my head into there, still finding a rhythm, not letting the rhythm go. That's boxing, there, 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 there. Getting that nice rhythm, I'm still keeping the rhythm, see me still working my own tune. There you go, it's all about a nice rhythm. You can see that, that's quality, that's under control. Ooh. That's the speedball.
Pad work, targeting the hand mitts worn by a coach, often complemented with a body belt, provides a more elusive target and allows the trainer to set the combinations and the pace.
My name's THρωην LjourdC, professional boxing trainer.
My name is Junior Saba and I'm future world champion.
Hi, this is a style that me and Junior developed in the gym, aptly named Ajayi pads. The thing about boxing is it's a very demanding sport. Once you actually put the gloves on, you have to learn how to attack and defend. So the whole point of doing pads in this manner is that it becomes second nature to a fighter, and he doesn't actually worry about or think about how to defend and to respond to particular shots. And that's how we do pads.
Sparring in the gym is the closest a boxer can come to recreating a real combat environment.
To spar, you get people punching you back, so you can work on defense, movement, also countering and hitting a moving target. Plus, actually, you need to take some punches, so obviously it toughens you up. There's nothing better than actually getting in the ring and having one-on-one combat. When I used to spar, especially because of my bad hands, the way I used to spar with lighter guys. The smaller guys, they have so much speed, and my strength was my speed, that it would be competitive. So I had to hold my punches back and throw a lot of shots, move around and throw many punches in and around, and that's what was best for me.
All that's left is to listen to your trainer, get your tactics right, and then give it your all.
There's a lot of world champions in the gym, but when you've got them little 10-ounce gloves, which, believe me, they hurt when you get hit with the 10-ounce gloves, and you have thousands and thousands of people watching you, or at the top, your sport, you've got millions watching you. The pressure and the stress of going in that ring, you know, when the lights are on you and fighting, it's completely different to the relaxed environment of a boxing gym. That's what sort of separates the men from the boys and the champions from the contenders. Is how you be able to keep everything bottled in, keep your composure, and execute your game plan and win.
You should be sharp stepping, making him miss, and punishing him with feints and jabs, and nothing else, until it's glaringly obvious, because you're going to break his heart with your defence and your jab and your feinting. Do not slug.
Don't let him get lucky. That doesn't happen in this game, okay?
Okay, 3 rounds and you're the champion. Ricky Hatton rocks the world with a truly stunning win over a modern legend. He's getting to him here. Oh, big shots raining through. David Hay shows his class. Oh, it's over again. The referee might have stepped in. There's more. He stopped it.
The feeling mentally and physically and inside the heart, how great and proud and honourable, and you know how your family and your friends look at you, because you know you're the best in the world, and words can't really describe being a world champion, but it feels pretty good, let me tell you.
I urge anybody, any kids out there, to aim to be the best at what you do. Don't aim to be one of the masses, you know, aim to be number one.
As hard as the job is, it's the best game in the world, and I miss it every day. I still miss the roar of the crowd, you know, and stuff like that, and having your hand raised. When you work so hard, like boxers do in a training camp, to have your hand raised at the end, it's